We are ready to go. Okay, g'day everybody and welcome to Dog Shadow Gaming, the channel where we live to game and game to live. As always, I'm Belth and today we are looking at some more Total War Warhammer 2. Today we're looking at the Cyrano faction unlocker with Steel Faith overhaul, putting the two together again, just like the Boris Todbringer series that I have on the channel right now. But this is the second. There's two mods. So there's with the Steel Faith overhaul, there's a sub mod for Cyrano's faction unlocker, which unlocks basically all the top end, and then there's another one that does the Southern Realms, and the Southern Realms is really cool. It adds all of the Southern. So you've got Bill Bailey, you've got Velmi Gorsa, who these are the old sort of Southern Realms. They're in the Dogs of War campaign books and bits and pieces. Gashnag, the Black Prince, who we'll be playing today. He's really, really cool. He's a Strigoi who is kind of a benevolent lord. He has a small kingdom down the bottom end of where Myrmidon is. Myrmidon. And he's not like your average Strigoi. He hides himself away. He's very protective of his area. He doesn't fill it full of vampires and ghouls and all that sort of stuff. He's actually... He's the complete contrast to your average Strigoi or vampire lord. He doesn't want anything to do with them. In fact, he doesn't like them at all. So you got diplomatic relations -20 with vampire counts. And attrition -50 casualties suffered from vampiric territory attrition. So we'll get back to that. Some of the other stuff for this mod is a really cool mod. It's called the Southern Realms sub-mod. You get Lupio Sunscryer, who's really cool. He starts in Estalia. In Estalia you also have Lucrezia Belladonna. Then you can play Lord Durant, Lorenzo Lupio, who starts just down next to Sartosa. You've got Leonardo Catrazza, who is in Tilea. Also for Tilea, you've got Borgio the Passenger, who's also another cool character. You've got, there's no one really for this one. And then you've got El Cadavo, who starts over near Lord Mazdamundi, so you can play a properly fleshed out campaign with, it's got sort of new units, new troops, and then the Steel Faith overhaul brings in a lot of the new building chains and different pieces. Really changes the game. It's a load of fun. If you haven't tried these two mods together, I highly recommend it. It really does give you a very cool and very unique experience. You've also got Marco Colombo, who also starts over there. And each one of these new characters have, well, most of them are fleshed out with very different sort of starting attributes and, like totally different starting attributes over this side. But we'll go through them, and I'll go through Gashnag because that's who we're playing today. We may try, I am looking to do probably a Borgio Besieger, and also I want to do one of these guys over near Mazdamundi, because playing Southern Realms, or the Human Kingdoms, I should say, over on Lustria would be pretty cool, because there's only one over there, and he sort of starts in the middle of the map, as you know. So you could go north or south. So we'll do that some stage. Today we're looking at Gashnag, the Black Prince. And as I said, he's a Strigoi prince, but he's a benevolent one. He looks after his little kingdom, and he doesn't really want he doesn't want to get involved with the other vampire counts. If anything, he doesn't like them at all. So he's pretty cool. So Southern trade, superior sea trade can support expensive armies. Armies of borderland, jack of all trades, it's rosters of skirmishers, dwarf auxiliaries, specialists cheaper yet trickier than others, but versatile against multiple threats. The most battle-hardened human troops in the world are valuable veterans, but replacing casualties with the same stock is a difficult proposition. Okay, so let's have a look at some of his faction effects. Hardened veterans, strong vigor, +5 armor, +8 damage for all units 7 and above. So you have to get them to 7, but when you do, they get all these cool traits, which I think is a really cool concept, because when you got a veteran, he is going to be a lot better. He's probably going to be stronger. He's going to be quicker. He's going to know more. This sort of this particular ability really represents that in the game, and I think it's a really cool thing. Diplomatic relations -20 with vampire counts. I really like this. So it's really sort of encouraging you you start down sort of the bottom of the Border Princes. You'll see in a second. So it really encourages you to go up, and instead of sort of having it out with Tilea and going around the bay there with Tilea, Estalia and all that, it's sort of, and also Sartosa, it sort of encourages you to head north and then go take on the vampire count. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of, you know, get sort of a diplomatic, play basically a benevolent, good vampire taking out the other vampires. So that's pretty cool. Attrition minus 50 casualty suffered from vampiric territory attrition. So that's pretty cool. Public order plus 4, which is rare for vampires. Enemy hero action success chance minus 5. So that's pretty cool. Starting units, you get additional starting units. You get 2 halberdiers, which is cool. Armor piercing, anti-large, fairly standard. And then this is one of the units from the submod. Now this submod, as I said, does create a whole host of new units. They're not ridiculously OP or anything. They're quite well balanced, so it doesn't throw the game out or give you any ridiculous advantages or anything like that. They're just a different tier. So as you can see here, this is armored and shielded, anti-large, charge defense against large foes. If we throw it and then, what have they got here? So physical resistance plus 10, missile resistance plus 10, charge defense versus large. When bracing, this unit negates the charge, so family standard, hides in forest. Now if we have a look at it in comparison to sort of, well, I mean top tier for pole arms for Empire, they have sort of 45 armor, 99 armor. So that's they're much more armored and shielded, which is cool. So they're basically an upper version of this, but they have a shield for anti-missile. Leadership is a little bit better. Speed, they're a little bit slower. Melee attack, 37 here, and you've got like bonus versus cavalry bane, so 30 seconds on these guys. But on these guys, they don't have that. So they do have about the same attack, but they miss that ability. Then you've got melee defense is slightly better again at 45. Weapon strength is a little bit less, and you don't have that armor pierce there. So you do have the armor piercing here. So you do have bonus versus large, but no armor pierce. And then charge defense is a little bit better. Charge bonus, sorry, is a bit better too. So they're just another tier up, but you do sacrifice that. You are sacrificing that armor piercing, which is good end game. Imperial stand plus 5, leadership and melee, hide in forest, expert charge defense, and then physical resistance. So they're a little bit better. They just don't have some extra bits and pieces. Now today's campaign, I'll be taping it as well for YouTube. So anything that you miss, guys, or if you can't stay for the whole stream or you want to watch it, you can also jump in to YouTube and watch it. It'll be up on that channel. I'll cut it up and put it on. So we're going to go legendary. So the very top level here, legendary and very hard. So this is it. Steel Faith tends to be a little bit harder than your standard vanilla, in my opinion, because it instead of just making public order penalty rates get harder and harder and harder, it actually makes, I don't know how they work it, but it feels like the units are a lot cleverer. They don't fall for silly stuff as much, both on the battlefield and in the campaign. So let's get into it, and we'll be right back with the campaign after this. Heir to the Strigoi king, Vorag Bloodytooth, Gashnag rules a small kingdom in the Border Princes. As opposed to his sire's aggressive and bloody tendencies, Gashnag has chosen a more peaceful and reclusive form of government. Emulous to the Empire of Ashorn, the very first of the Strigoi bloodline, the Black Prince as he... emulating. The Black Prince as he personally protects the towns under his rule from incursion, as he doesn't want to draw unwanted attention from feral Strigoi or jealous von Carsteins, or even neighbouring princes. Gashnag walks under a heavy black cloak and an aura of illusions that make him appear as a scarred but romantic, heroic figure of selflessness. So not too bad, you know what I mean? Like, I think this is a really cool and unique look at playing a vampire. I love the vampires, to be honest with you. Helman Gorst's new position is really cool. I like the new vampire bloodlines. You don't get that in this. None of that's involved in here. But this is just a very cool... We don't get to play the Border Princes or Tilea yet because I still haven't opened it for us. So this is really cool. Adding these new units is very cool. And there's tons of new units, by the way.
What is your will?
Now, one of the first things that I tend to do in Legendary is we're trying to get that cash up as quick as we can. There is a lot, as I said before, you got a superior C trade here, and we do start with a port straight up, which is very nice. So we're going to go straight into that straight away, get some more cash in the kitty. What I'm going to do here is before I move, we do have the orc sitting on our border just up here on the left. And so what I'm going to want to do, my apologies, yep, here we go. What we're going to do is, we don't want to scare him. I just want to leave him there. I'm okay with him doing that for now. We've got plenty of cash coming in, so we're not starting, because we have that port. It's lovely. We're not starting too terribly. What I need to do here is, I feel like I want... so we got an all-rounded, pretty good all-round army here. We've got sort of 3 swordsmen, plus our shield bearers. So we've got actually bonus versus large 5. We've only got 3 for our front line, but 2 ranged, and then we've got the pistoliers. And the pistoliers are right at doing that of, harass damage and all the rest of it. Now, something to remember about Gashnag, even though he is a Strigoi, this is a Strigoi a little bit different. If we have a look at his abilities here, we'll quickly go through them. You've got Route Marcher, which is standard, Gashnag's Ward, so attrition plus 15%, enemy casualties from untainted territory, enemy armies in own province. So attrition is plus 15 enemy casualties. So if they're in here, in our territory, they will take attrition. Attrition minus 25 casualties suffered from vampiric territories. So that's really cool. When we hit the vampiric territories, we'll definitely want to be using this one here, because we will head up that way. Gashnag's Cloak, this is pretty good. Magic drop chance, plus 15%. Winds of Magic, plus 30%, which is really cool. Hero capacity, -1 for Warrior Priests, -1 for Witch Hunters, -1 for Battle Wizards, but, I will take those buffs over that anyway. Plus 30 Magic Power Reserve is pretty cool for... he is primarily a caster in this one. You can run him up the top, but he's primarily a caster. Peace of Gashnag. Even in his delusions, Gashnag knows that he doesn't need to conquer more land to keep his own happy, even if the neighbors don't know what they're talking to. So growth plus 10%, diplomatic relations plus 5 with Empire provinces. So that's pretty good to get fairly early on, because you go 25 and then plus 10 with Empire. So we're going to be heading up there and trying to play nice with the Empire at some stage. Leadership Aura plus 3, so we get right down as Leadership Aura plus 15, chance of intercepting on the underway plus 10, and ambush defense chance plus 30, not too bad. Pretty strong blue line for him so far. Assurance, Benevolence, so you got a public order of plus 3, which is nice. Attrition rates, again, you can really pull down the attrition rates for operating in vampire areas, so that's something we'll probably want later on. Lightning Strike is here at the end, and then Casualty is right at the back end here. Let's go down his red line here, standard. So punishment. So leadership plus 5 versus raiding armies, Lord's army. Melee attack plus 5 against Chaos, Norska, and Greenskins. Not too bad, not too bad. Lessons of the Strugois. Melee attack plus 5 against vampire counts. So as you can see, it's really heavily weighted, just pushing you up north for that fight. And causes fear when fighting against vampire counts. Cool. Fighters of Gashnagia. Leadership plus 5 for all units, Lord's Army, leadership plus 7, and then plus 10, plus 15. So this is really strong. Really nice, really strong. Missile defense, 15, 5 here, vigor loss, very cool. Rally standard, brass lung standard, Gashnag's Veil, so armor plus 7 for all units. Causes fear for all units, rank 7 plus above, yep. Plus 15 armor, so again, really strong there in the red line, and then standard there. Now, as far as his top 2 lines, so the very top one, you've got Tome of Assuron, unique. So you get this at level 18, so you're not really getting much early on. There's level 10 here. You can get this at level 5, which is nice. You've got splash attack damage, armor piercing damage, brave water standard. This one's nice to get around level 5. Staff of the Strugois, plus 5 melee, plus 5 melee attack, passive ability Staff of the Strugois, plus 15 damage resistance, strong vigor, not too bad. Now he has no mount, so you're on foot the whole campaign, and for the most part you are a caster. If we have a look, his armor's only 55, leadership 70, not too bad. Speed 40, melee attack, he's got some magical attacks there. He's not the super strongest foot lord. Like, he's definitely not a fighter, in my opinion. You have Illusionary Shadow, so plus 20 damage resistance, so drawing upon Ulgul, the Assurance teachings. Gashnag covers himself and his allies in a protective deception. So this is good to give you a bit of enfeebling foe you've got here. And then you've got Malakos Mystify Miasma, which is nice. Hold the line. Disintegration, and then standard sort of regeneration. Plus 20% weakness to fire. But we can get rid of that a bit later on. I'll show you how. Casualty damage here. You've got Undead, yep. Hide in Forest. Encourage, yep. Causes Fear, yep. Resilience. Resilience to shooters the following type. Attrition, Vampire Territory. And then Missile Resistance plus 15. So definitely pushing you towards that sort of caster line. If we go through the caster lines, you've got Malakos Mystify Miasma, pretty standard. Smoke and Mirrors. Enfeebling Foe. Withering, Penum's Pendulum, very, very strong. Love this ability, and that I will be going for that quick and early. You have Slippery, so the ability Slippery, fairly standard. Earthing, Magical Reserves, Pit of Shades, really nice, bit of fun there. Oakham's Mind Razor, another good one. And then we've got Arcane Conduit. Top line is fairly standard. Deadly Onslaught, Supernatural Causes Terror. We already caused Fear, so that's one to get a bit later on. Hit points plus 3, Master Strike. It's fairly standard top line. I mean, it's really not. You can go 12 melee defense there, Quick Blood, Foe Seeker, all very standard top line. I don't think that's where we're going to go. We're going to do a sort of a mix of the bottom three. We'll probably we'll get Route Marcher fairly quickly. Inspiring Presence because of that leadership. We'll throw one in Mystifying Miasma straight into Penum's Pendulum, get 2 into there. Very, very quickly. We'll try to get the splash attacks if he does get us surrounded or attacked. Then we'll go down to Gashnag here. So probably here and here. Those two will be getting straight up. We'll leave the vampire stuff until a little bit later, till about turn 30, where we should be sort of heading towards there. First sort of 10 to 15 turns, really you're going to be just trying to consolidate a little bit, build your army, build your defenses, play on the orcs a little bit. The keys around here, there's a couple of keys. Now, we're going to want a little bit more artillery, a little bit more firepower here, so we're going to do that. We do have Sartosa down here, and they will be hostile pretty quickly. Now, you could head down here and around the bay. Lots of money around here. But, as I said, you've got all of those lovely abilities to fight vampires. So what I want to do is I want to head north. We're going to take the whole Border Princes kingdom. We're going to ally ourselves with the dwarves, which is a rare thing you can't normally do with vampires. But because he's a benevolent one and no one sort of knows he's a vampire, you can kind of do that. So I'm gonna be up here. I'm going to do a Border Prince, and we're going to move into Sylvania, and we're going to really try to take it to the vampires up the top here. Once we've done that, then we might, I don't know, we could, I don't know, then. We might try to confederate or push into Empire, or I don't know what. We might come around then at that stage and then take everybody out and go up Bretonnia too. We shall see. Now, to start us off, you've got your standard. So we really want to make Belagar a mate if we can. We'll try and get him into a military alliance as quickly as possible. Because he will just basically guard the bottom end for us. And if we can make all these guys in a military alliance, it just sort of keeps our bottom end safe. If we plan to be spending a majority of our time up here, we're miles away from defending our own property. So we do really, or our sort of settlements here. We do really, really, really want to have as many military alliances as we can down this end to sort of keep ourselves safe here. I only want to put a token force down here. I want to put most of my efforts in the north. However, this is our linchpin and our capital. Now, for the capital, you start off at level 3 here. Standard SFO stuff here, guys. I'm sure most of you played it, but if you haven't, then buildings change a little bit in SFO. You get, every time you build a building, it actually provides garrisons. They don't just provide buffs or different abilities or open up units, they actually provide garrisons. So what you put into them also provides, or some, not all, provides garrisons. Now, we are going to have a real strong trade to try and develop those alliances as much as we can. And we're going to be very targeted on who we attack to get those alliances. I want to get good, strong alliances with the dwarves. This helps to strengthen them and strengthen us. Now, this is where we are here. Up the top here, we've got tax plus public order, enemy, hero action success chance, untainted, untainted adjustment provinces, growth -5, tax +8, public 2, fairly standard, income from trade +5, additional tradable resources. Remember what we said about trade. And then we've got casualty replenishment rate +5, recruitment +10. So we're going to go with that income. We want to be trying to push that up. It's pretty good already, but I want more because I'm greedy like that. Now, let's check out the tree. The technology tree has been stripped down a little bit, but I quite like it. Now, in order to get the end one here, I think you've got to get all of these, which means, you know, you're looking at 60 turns before you can unlock this. But once you unlock that, that's a pretty good one. -15 for units, own armies, faction-wide. Recruitment rank +2 for infantry units, all characters. Recruitment cost -15. So that's a really, really strong ability. So the top line is one that I kind of want to hit first. On the bottom, we've got melee attack and melee defense +5 for all borders, rangers, swashbucklers, and light cavalry. Upkeep cost -10 for all of these particular units. Then down construction time, -1 for wall, garrison buildings, construction cost -10. Not as good for 60 turns in, but this one is pretty much for that building. When you're looking at it here, we've got income trade +10, growth +10, additional trade relations +5, income from ports experience -3 for Sartos and pirate units. So not too bad. The only thing with this is going for this early is cool, but then you're not like relationship +10 with all replenishment +10 with all knights, untainted, public order, hero action cost, hero success, diplomatic relation with all factions, which isn't too bad either. Dwarven allies -10% for Dwarven ally units. But up the top here, I really like this because if you can get this fairly early on, that's going to really give you a bit of a chance to really reduce the costs of your army on yourself. So you've got leadership +10 for riders, +3 for these particular units, melee attack, defense +4. Enables immune to psychology all lords, which is a big one. Leadership +5 for all characters, melee defense, and discombobulate for adventurers, carabiner, and knights and militia. So that's a pretty good one. Mercenary host. Income from raiding, casual replenishment, +5, income from sacking settlements. So it's kind of, I kind of really want that. But this is pretty good for like construction bits and pieces, especially this one here. Income from ports is going to be nice, but you only got one port on this particular attack of ours. So I think we're going to go with one of these up here, and the one I kind of want to go is this one here. Because this one we're not going to really use that much just yet. So I'm thinking we'll go this. Immune to psychology, all lords sounds pretty damn good. Yeah. Untainted public order. Yeah, actually, that's probably pretty good. Yeah, all right. Let's go with this one. We'll get the trade. We'll get the bonuses here. I was going to go here because this is pretty nice, but anything that buffs our trade is going to be pretty decent. Okie dokie. Right, so from here, what we want to do is kind of recruit at least 2 of these guys because we really want some firepower here. These guys are all frontline. They're pretty good, but they're not amazing. There's nothing really cutting through units. We don't have any real cavalry, hammer and anvil type stuff to do. We don't start with that, and we won't get it for a little while. So that's the first thing I want to do now. I just want to get a couple of these units going and see where we're at. So, sorry for the long-winded sort of explanation, guys, but I just thought I'd give you a bit of a look at all the different parts of the campaign. Let's have a quick look at Gashnag himself before I move. So he's very sort of Mandrid sort of looking, but just got that black cape there, which is cool. And he's rolling with his Strigoi staff, which is cool as well. All right, now quickly what we will do before we hit that button is we want to start solidifying our position with our neighbors a little bit. Remember, we are playing that benevolent vampire.
Deliver your message.
Don't think it's almost impossible to get a trade agreement early on. Yeah. We will get one shortly. We've already got one here, so we don't need anything there. Lichtenberg we don't care about because we are actively going to be taking him out.
Yes.
This is the first of our
You may speak
dwarf.
before my shield bearers,
So
and I agree.
there we go. We got a straight up agreement with him and a non-aggression, which is very nice. Now, we will be fighting and picking on the orcs as much as possible, and we don't need anything with the Bleak Coast Buccaneers. Alright, so that's pretty much it for our first. We're going to leave him here. He's got a fairly small army, not too bad, but there will be a larger one sitting up in here. And he's kind of sort of sit here for a couple. He doesn't do a lot in Legendary. Not for a little bit. So we will, we'll just have to speed this up a little bit. Okay. So, yep, he's raiding us. That's okay. Now, Steel Faith Overhaul. This is the faction caps. I mean, you can just pause the screen and read through this. I normally read through it, guys, but if you've been watching my other Boris Todbringer campaign, I've already explained all this, so I won't go through it any longer because we'll just be here all day. I just usually use recommended faction caps just so you can't just spam out elite units at the end. It just keeps the end campaign a little bit more. We're going to get another one of units of these. And we're at 484. That's cool. And one of the other things, guys, is I'm going to cut, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm actually going to cut out the turn timers, guys. I was looking at it, and it's like 2 minutes something for the turn timer to go, and it's a bit boring to watch. So what I've done in the Boris Todbringer campaign is I've actually cut them out. So if you get these sort of hard cuts, I try to make it as smooth as I can, but the whole point of it is to just make the, you know, watching the campaign a lot more enjoyable instead of just sitting there for turn after turn, especially in Legendary where you have to be a little bit more cautious. You can't just go recklessly smashing into things. With this one too, because it opens up so many more of the factions, there's a lot more for it to go through. So cutting out the turn timers, unless something happens in them, I'm going to cut them out. If something happens in them, I go through and cut them out. If something happens, I won't. I'll leave it, and I'll just you'll probably know when that's something there. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll cut them, and then at the end of it, I'll read through everything that's happening here. So raiding by Shifty Nose. See the sufficient shrewd and tough, and orc is just another prey, yeah? So, so I'll read through these at that cut so that you know what's happened over the turn time so you don't lose anything. But most of them are just sitting there and the turn's going. So it's just boring. That's why I cut it out for you. Hours and hours of footage. You would not believe how much turn timers there are I did like 8 hours streaming and cut down, I think like an hour and a half out of that. To nearly 2 hours. So anyway, we're going to cut it out. All right. Okay, so we got our 2 units of... Oh, hang on. We're not doing anything. Okay, so... you know, understand. So, this is the standard Empire that comes... Doesn't matter what faction you play in Steel Faith Overhaul. Basically asks, will the Empire be completely united? And then if you attack more than 3 of their provinces, everyone will attack you. Or will you, you know, have them squabbling as they normally would, and potentially taking each other out and that sort of stuff. Now, if you do that they are united, they won't fight with Kislev. They'll smash the vampires fairly early because they're not all squabbling with each other, so they all sort of zero on the vampires. We don't want that to happen because we want to go after the vampires, and we don't necessarily want to fight the Empire as much. So I'm going to do no. I'm going to have no. United, they stand is false, and they'll fight with Kislev. They'll fight everybody, and everyone's just sort of fighting everybody. Because we want to make that decision later on for ourselves. Now, I've got sort of 4 for the back line to put out some firepower, which is nice. Something else I want to do, guys, is I didn't describe this in the first one. This is plutocracy. So it's basically like the version of the Dwarven Mechanic there and the Tomb King's Mechanic for the Southern Realms. So this one here, if you get the idols here, and for 500 you'll get requires Temple of Amidia as well. The Master of Strategist Provincial Commander from the Order of the Eagle, which is cool. Available in the Lord pool once every 100 turns. So that's really, really cool. So we'll kind of want to get one of him as one of our Lord Commanders. Now, then you've got your Regiments of Renown, which is a really cool system. You can't get Regiments of Renown until you have the abilities to make them, basically. And then you can you can actually hire them. So it'll cost me 5, and we've got Verena's Owls. And Verena's Owls are slightly better than a normal unit. They have Vanguard deployment, basically, that's all it is. Missile damage is pretty much the same. Range is pretty much the same. Ammunition, a little bit higher ammunition. Charge, defense, all that sort of stuff. Very, very similar. They just start at a higher rank, and they have Vanguard deployment. So we're going to get that early on. Because we have our pottery bowl here, we can take that. So this also means what you build in Summons is pretty cool too. Now, one of the next ones we need is the Sons of the Strigoi, which is a shielded Vanguard deployment, stalk, and poison attacks. But they're basically just spear and shield, basically. Unit with poison attacks and Vanguard deployment, which is cool. So we need salt for that one. And salt will be here when we take Matorka. We'll get the salt, which is nice, and we can take that. We do have to be careful of, I mean, these guys here, Karak Asgore with the, who are they? What are they called? Come on, show me. The Black Venom tribe. Now, these guys actually, unlike the vanilla where they just get always wasted, these guys are actually pretty strong. They start with everything that Skarsnik starts. So they actually have a queen, a Ragnarok queen to start with, and an elite Spider Rider unit as well, like a unit of renown. So they're no slouches. They're no slouches at all. So we've got going. I want to get at least one more unit of swordsmen just to get our front line a little bit thicker. We've got plenty of bonus large around the sides and a backup one that will just re-back up our lines wherever we want. We're going to get one more archer from our archers so we can get her. I don't think we can recruit her yet. 980. Oh, we're just shy, so we can get that on the next one. So what I will possibly do is we're going to move up to here. And what this will do is he'll run now. And he'll usually run out this way, or he might go into here. It's one or the other. We're going to get another unit of swordsmen. So we just buff our front line a little bit. And then on the next turn, we'll have enough for our archers, and then we'll move in with our archers. That's a fairly decent army. There's nothing special. There's no hammer and anvil. There's no knights or anything that you do get with most human factions, but we'll be all right. Let's see if we can get... Probably not yet, but we'll give it a go.
Disagree with that?
No, not going to do it yet. Anybody else to play with? No, so we're good. So basically, we don't care about this one, but we do want this one. Marble, pottery, and tariffs. Yeah, so we get 130 income. That's not too bad. It's worth getting. Getting 177 here. Clan Ungren, once we actually do take out Zarek Zil, eventually he'll come around here and we can get some trade agreement from him. In the meantime, the more we attack the Broken Nose, will help to solidify that alliance with Balagar, who we really want to have as early as we can. Barak Var, it's improving, which is great. We're going to want to get a military alliance. You know, he'll get confederated by Thorgrim anyway eventually, but if we can get one, that's cool. Okay, -9 for our public order, so I mean, it's not great, but we will get there. This one we'll be able to do up in a couple of turns anyway. And that's really it for this turn, guys. Oh, once we've sort of played here a little bit and farmed this, we'll head over to Gronti Mingle and we'll take this out. And then we'll probably move up and maybe take a Doc Karaz, depending on how they're going, and Stone Mine Tower as well. So we'll just sort of farm the orcs a little bit. This really helps to, you know, solidify that alliance with the dwarves. So if you're ever having a hard time getting the dwarves, then that's how you do it. Okay, the number of beastmen has grown in recent years. Deep in the forests of the old world, in hidden caves and secluded desert regions, they are waiting for their time to come. Will the tribes leave their homes to plague and destroy the civilizations of men and dwarves and elves? Yes, we will do that for later on. Make it a little bit more fun. We've recruited our swordsman. Gashnag's recruited his swordsman, which is cool. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to move to... Before I do anything, actually, I'm going to go get this unit. Okay, so we've now got sort of 5 archers for our back line, just to pump out a little bit of damage while our front line holds, because basically that's where we're going with this campaign. We will get some knights to get around the back and bits and pieces, but Gashnag here, we're going to get that Penum's Pendulum to start ourselves off early. Once they attack the front line, we'll then hit the Penundulum of the... oh my god, Penum's Pendulum, and we'll be hitting them with a lot of archer fire. So that's where we're going to head. What we kind of want to do here is we want to head round to round about here. And then we want to go into... we might go a little bit closer. And we're going to go into ambush stance. This basically just stops him. He is in forced march. We can't quite get to him yet, right? Hopefully he doesn't see us. We'll see. We're fairly close, so that could happen. But my hope is that he'll try to get back to Zaragzil. If he does, we'll get the ambush on him. If he doesn't, we can hit Zaragzil or we can hit him. Either way. If he finds us in the ambush, well, he has another unit over here, but it'll be hard for it to get all the way around to me. So it'll take at least 2 turns for it to get to here, so we're fairly safe. So that's where we're at, because we really want to, we sort of want to get rid of him and farm this as quickly as possible. Remember that he does have a fairly decent unit here, but he's also got Balagar here breathing down his neck. So we kind of want to be aware of that. Now, Beastmen Rising, yes, we've pushed yes. Is there anything for us to do over here? Not really. We've got minus 22 for the public order, but otherwise we're doing well. Let's have a quick look at... is this improved? It is improving. We're at 28, so we'll wait another turn to see if we can get anywhere there. We're improving slowly here, improving here, which is good. And that's really it for us for now. Cool. Let's end the turn. Okay, so we have population service with the Border Princes, which is cool. Barakvar has declared war on the vampire counts, which is also good for us. And I think, yeah, we can keep going up here with some pottery regeneration. So we'll do that. We'll keep going. We want that trade income. So those two are both going to get done up. Actually, have we got surplus here? We do, and which is just a matter of cash, is it? Yeah, so actually we'll wait on that because we'll try to get that up. Now, here we are. We've got a fairly, we're at 16 units. We're fairly okay. He has a full 20 stack. Now, there's a, looks like he's got quite a bit of Goblin Wolf Riders here, archers, all the rest of it. He looks like Balagar's taken advantage of this, and he's going to be moving around, I would say, down here. I wish I could get some view on that. We don't really want to take this fight. We don't have Penum's Pendulum yet to give us our advantage with Gashnag. He's not a really good melee fighter, so the War Boss is probably going to kick his bum. So we don't have the advantage yet. We are still in ambush chance, but even if we get the ambush, we're going to be at a disadvantage. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull back from here. And we're going to pull back into, just into my territory, just here on the corner. Pull back to here, and actually we might pull back all the way. We'll go to there. Now, if Balagar comes down here and he wastes out this army, that's cool. If he takes off, then we'll come back around and we'll be able to do something there. Now, we do have, I'll do that, but yeah, we want to wait on the rest of it. Cool. All right. So, unfortunately, it would have been nice for him to do it, but he didn't fall for it. So that happens. All right, let's move on to the next phase. Okay, so, all right, so straight off, we have a mission. So recruit a lord, turns to complete. As the empire grows, so too does the need to raise additional forces to protect our borders and expand further. We should raise an army. Raise banners. Recruitment cost -15, rank +1 for all units. Yeah, not too bad, but we don't really want that just yet. I'd rather build this up a bit better yet. And we now have this, so we're going to put that up, which will be cool. Let's see how we're going with these guys. We just got a trade deal, so that was cool. So we got nothing going on there. What about with Tilea? Nothing going on there. Barragvar is improving. We're improving still here, so we'll get big improvements once we actually start fighting the broken nose. We can almost get to him, but I'm thinking this is a little bit of a trap. So what we might do is just cruise around to here and go into ambush again. Now he might go into here, and if he does, that's okay, because he's still fairly low, and the units here are going to be fairly low as well. Yeah, so we can still beat this army. So it's not an issue, basically. If he does go into there, whatever. I wonder, actually. Move to here. Ah, we went too far. Okay, pull back. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I should have checked out that. I should have checked out this. I was too far. That's alright. We can just sit here. Okay. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. That's building there. So that's really it. Bugger, we wasted it. Okay. So, we have surplus. We got another surplus, which is nice. We do have... This one is heading up, which is cool. So we'll get that going now for our trade. He has jumped in, so he's done exactly what we thought we'd do. Unfortunately, we didn't get that ambush, which sucks a bit, but that's okay, because even combined, we should be able to beat them with what we've got. So let's get in there and attack this turn. Now, it's saying we're pretty good. We are on Legendary, so I can't save this, so let's get in there and let's have the battle. Right, so additional starting units, he's got a Goblin Shaman, which we can, if we need to, we can get in there and one-to-one him. We will win that battle. We've got about 50 weapon strength over him. We've got some Night Goblins. Now, they're probably the Chariots and the two Night Goblin units are the ones we really kind of want to focus on taking out. However, he will have some Orcs from the garrison, so they're also pretty strong. We've got 23. It's not too bad. I'm just going to start deployment with that. Right, so he is in the garrison, so we're going to get the whole lot straight off the bat. We're going to pull over here where we've got a little bit more space to work with. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roll this guy, no, that. Not bad, sorry. And then this, and then this. Now we're just going to roll across like that. Like so. Make him spread his attack on me a little bit. We do have the Archer Fire. So one of the reasons I am pulling this wide like this is because I really want to be able to crosshatch my Archer Fire to get maximum effect out of them. What we'll do here is we'll grab one of these units and one of these units, and we'll whack them. Oops, no, we don't want that. That, and we're going to go like that. Keep them fairly tight and together. Now, the idea is that they'll shoot incoming as it's coming, and then they'll shoot down the line cross. When you shoot across like this, and you've got sort of almost dead on, and you can get a lot better Archer Fire out of that. So these guys now, and these guys, we're going to whack just down here. Yep. Now there, I've given them enough room so that if the Halberdiers need to move out for flanking, they can. But they're also not too close in the middle that you can't sort of fire out. This will give them incoming fire in. We're covered. There's a full arc of fire in, and then they'll both cross-hatch into each other. This one here, now this does have Vanguard deployment, but we're not going to really do that for now. I'm just going to, we're probably going to get the majority of the attacks hitting this line over here. So I'm going to pop these guys. Actually, you know what? I might pop them here. And this way they can sort of shoot either side. It's sort of more versatile. We will pop the Pistoliers over here. Actually, we might throw them over this side. And their job really is just to get around, harass units, and do whatever they can in that regard. We do have our unit of, not renown, but the unit of Spearmen. And they're going to sit behind here. Just in case something does get around so they can react to whatever they need to react to. Otherwise, they can basically just buff up a line here. We'll put Gashnag right in the center here, pretty close to the front lines. Just behind these archers. And he is... Actually, we're going to move him slightly. Going to move these guys slightly to the left. Just so I can... So they can go either way. Yep. So he's got that Malakoth's Mystifying Miasma, which is weak versus single combat, but minus 25 speed. Then we've got the melee defense, melee attack. This is really good if somebody gets onto him. And then he has his plus 20 damage resistance. So having him here means that he buffs a lot of the units here, which is pretty cool. All right, when he uses that ability. So let's get into the battle now and see how we go. G'day guys, we've got a couple of people just joined the stream. We're on Legendary and Very Hard. Steel Faith Overhaul with Cyranosis Faction Unlocker. And we're playing Gashnag, the Black Prince. He's a Border Prince that is a Strigoi, but he's a benevolent one. So it's a very cool, different sort of look at it. He's also mostly caster based. So we're going to start moving these guys up here. We do need to get all of these guys off skirmish mode. So they're all off skirmish mode now. Cool. So he does have those guys over here. But I kind of want to get into the back here on this shaman. Okay, we've seen the archers now. I'm going to peel around. I want to make sure these archers are... ooh, lost a couple of units there. I'll play around. The archers can come at me if they want. That's cool because that just allows more time for my archers to take put damage on their units while... G'day, Mantis. How are you, buddy? Welcome back to the channel, dude. Okay, so our aim here is to just put some damage into this shaman if we can, yeah? We also want to pull... Just be very aware, because we can get smashed here by these archers, which is great, because if they're all chasing us, that means we can just pummel fire into here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move him up to there. These archers on these guys. These archers on these guys. Okay, no, we don't want that. We want the orcs. What do we got here? Focusing on the orcs. Forget the goblins. Not interested in them, actually. Let's try and get you on there. Okay, so remember what we were talking about? That cross-arching fire. So we're going to want orc boys, cross-arch. Yep. These guys, we need to get on those. Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's pretty much dead. Now, over to here. Once they've done with that, they'll jump onto there as well. Once they've done with that, they'll do it with that as well. They're going to shoot there. These guys are here to shoot here. So, just don't want them jumping into the battle here. Got a lot of units sitting here on the end. We are going to want to throw some stuff down here. Whoops. Actually, to pull them out of there, the archer fire.
Formation march! My girl, Maraz!
Cool.
What do you bid?
Okay.
Quick march! We obey.
Shoot these guys. Pull the pistoliers out. How are we going down here? This is pretty good. We're actually not attacking these guys as we should be.
Awaiting orders.
Pile onto this. We're going to use these guys to buff or just give a little bit extra. Yep, so they've broken. They're fine. Archers are pulling well past their line. We don't want that. We're going to attack these guys. Yep, they're about to break. Let's push them onto there. Debuff over here. Get up some more defense there. They're dealing with them. Pull out. Take them off that. Start shooting that shaman. Right. Dealt with. Mostly dealt with. Okay, they're offering some support there. Killing them. They're rolling out. They're sort of dealt with. Okay, throwing in our support there. All pretty good so far. How are you going? Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Keeping them busy. Yep, done, done, done. Yep. Go and catch them. These guys will win this battle. That's cool. They don't really need anything else. Turn. Shoot here. Shoot here. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So the cross-hatching fire is sort of how we as I said, we are a caster early on with not too many casting abilities to help us at this point. This is kind of our only cavalry. Okay, we want to pile some shots into here. Move up and take out Gashnag. You're going to go after here. Keep shooting here. Shoot this one. Shoot that one. Shoot that one. Shoot that one. Moving up. They're archers. That's been dealt with. Okay, move these up. Archers are out. Those archers are about to be dead. Good, 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 good. Okay. That's the shaman routed. Get out of there, guys. Pull out. There we go. And that was a settlement battle, so we don't need to stuff around with it anymore. We can just end it there. And we're pretty good. Damn, I thought it was getting hotter in here. My aircon's just gone on the flick. As soon as we get into the next turn round, I'll go fix that up. So, not bad. We took 395 losses. I mean, they've taken, what's that, around 1360 oddish losses, so that's not too bad. Well, who's MVP? 139, 141, 151 here. It actually outdid the unit of renown. Yeah, so Archers definitely pulled the punches for us. Once we get Panum's Pendulum for Gashnag, he'll start putting more into the battle. Yep, hard and legendary, mate. So very hard battles and legendary. With Steel Faith Overhaul, Cyrano's Faction Unlocker, we have a couple of mods. So we've got the GCCM settlement battles, so we get some cool settlement battles. And what else do we have? Camera mods, just so for better camera stuff. We're actually going to sack this. And we're gonna use Route Marcher, and we want to go. Actually, we don't want to use that just yet. I want to use. Oh shit! Press the wrong button. That's not good. Ninja Magic would be nice, I think. Yeah. We're going to do that for 30 Winds of Magic, straight off. Actually, no, we won't. What we'll do is we'll go Malakoths, and then on the next time we get something, we can actually put a double into Penarm's Pendulum, which will give us something. Now, the other thing that we do have is max level 60, so we can actually get our character all the way to 60, and each point gives us 2 points instead of 1. Now, that's really the only sort of bonus I have, and I only have that because it just enables you to go all the way to 60, which is cool, rather than just going to 40. So for longer campaigns, it's just more fun.